Hey guys, we are back with season 13, episode 14 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This episode was called If You Got It, Flaunt It. So let's get on into it. First off, y'all, I just want to preface this video by the fact that we have construction sounds going on today with saws, chains, and oh my, I am not down to the Home Depot, even though this orange ass shirt would tell you otherwise, okay? I do not know where the sawdust is. Check aisle 17, customer service, okay? And leave me alone. But anywho, let's get on to these housewives. And we just gonna push through. That's gonna be the theme of this video. We're gonna rename it. It's called Push Through. So Marlo is opening up a rental store. I think that this is great because if you do not come out of the housewife situation, whether you're an actual housewife or whether you're a friend of the show with a business, you have failed in terms of what the housewife show is for. At the end of the day, this show is a platform for you to better yourself, your family, your life in general. And so I honestly feel that the most successful businesses that people open are things that resonate with who they are as people, right? And so they pick things that that reflect their personality or their upbringing or their life. So we know Marlo for two things: old men and fashions. And so she's found a way to combine both of those and, you know, rent out the fashions that the old men bought for her. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, okay? If life gives you lemons, baby, you better make lemonade, and that's what Marlo did. However, I would love to get into the specifics of how it works in terms of, you know, just I'm just ignorant in the sense I don't know if COVID can linger on clothes, right? So are they getting the clothes dry clean before they're sending them back to you? Is this a mail order service? Are they intended to come down to this, you know, gallery and pick out things and sign them out? I don't know the specifics, but I do like the idea, and I like that Marlo is embracing this, you know, entrepreneurial side of herself. We later see in the episode that Kenya shows up, along with Fallyn, who I guess, you know, must have just been there from the beginning anyway. But Kenya is still pushing this Bolo narrative, and I'm completely tired of it, so I'm not even going to address it. But it was interesting just seeing Marlo talking to Kenya about her friend LaToya and everything that's going on with that, and just hipping Kenya to some conversations that will happen later on in the episode. Mike is moving to Atlanta. This is a very good decision. I'm, you know, very, very excited to hear this because, Cynthia, I was wondering about your future on the show and what that was going to mean because, you know, you got married to the man and you love him and you seem, you know, very enthralled with him. So I didn't know if he was going to move to Atlanta or if you was going to move to Los Angeles. And if you move to Los Angeles, are you no longer going to be a housewife? Were they going to try to put you on the Beverly Hills squad? You know, Garcelle don't need any help with them girls over there. She got them all together, okay? And she's, you know, she's very satisfactory, very excellent at what she does over there. So she don't need help. And I don't know if your particular brand of comedy, or just life updates in general would do well over in the Beverly Hills franchise. Maybe you'd surprise us. I don't know. But anywho, it's a moot point because Mike is moving to Atlanta. Lake Bailey may be up for sale. And Mike and Cynthia will be getting a bigger house together. So hopefully we'll see them, you know, go house shopping and combining this life together. I think that is great. Drew's family tree. Now, this was a very interesting conversation. And I really love how Drew and Ralph are sort of the poster child or the poster children for the important conversations that have happened lately in this group, whether it's, you know, therapy, whether it's, you know, their relationship together and the nuances therein, and also this whole little piece about the adoption, or just being adopted and the challenges that, you know, are faced when you have a new parent in the situation. So Drew is talking to her mom. We find out that the mom is actually adopted, which was a nice little lead in to the conversation that ended up happening with Josiah later on. And the mom was just very adamant that her adoptive parents were her parents. And listen, if the people who raised you sometimes are, whether that's your family or not, are your true parents, right? And so just because you gave birth to me sometimes doesn't mean that you were necessarily my parent if you weren't active in my life to that situation. Going along, we find out that Drew's baby daddy wants to have a relationship with Josiah. Now, before I go up for Drew, I have questions, okay? And my number one question is, what did the baby daddy do? Okay, you say he went to prison. You say he just got out. He's been gone for a while. You hope that he's getting his life together. That don't help me none. Either tell the whole story or don't tell anything at all, okay? Because, you know, is this manslaughter? Is this murder? Murder was the case that they gave me. I'm innocent. Like, you need to let us know. Was he, you know, defrauding old people out of their retirement checks like Apollo? Like, you need to let us know what it was so that we can have sympathy for this man and go up for him for this relationship with his child. But all I know is this whole old daddy thing, y'all need to come up with a better name, okay? You an actor, he in tech or something, or, you know, your manager or whatever Ralph does for money and whatnot. Y'all could come up with a better name than old daddy. That don't even sound right. Like, that sounds like a shady name LaToya would have given Fallyn's husband, okay? More than somebody that you're describing as your ex-father or whatever. But y'all can work that on your own time. So Josiah is pretty much ambivalent to the situation. I mean, I think they said he was 9. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I feel at 9 you have I don't know if you have the wherewithal to fully conceptualize the situation, but you do have the knowledge of what you like, what you don't like, and what you will and will not accept in, you know, your being or your life or, you know, your situation, right? And so I think that it was really, really great that Drew and Ralph had that sort of pep talk to just decide how they were going to talk to Josiah about it. And I can understand Drew's reservations. You know, Ralph is technically the only father that Josiah has known. So bringing this virtual unknown into the situation is a little bit, can be a little bit dicey. But I really liked how Ralph treated the situation and how he basically, you know, went up for Josiah having a relationship with his biological father. And I think in large part that might have been due to Ralph's own relationship with his father and it being cut short, you know, by his death. So I think that is amazing how they approached it, that heart-to-heart conversation he had with Josiah, where he just was like, you know, I don't want you to ever be in a situation where you feel that, you know, someone robbed you of an experience to know your father or someone kept you from him, right? So if I present him to you and you don't want to be around him, that's on you. But I will never create a situation where I didn't do everything in my power to make sure that you had a relationship with your father. So big ups to Drew and Ralph for handling this situation. And also, Drew, you're going to need to come through with these details on what he did, because I can be very uplifting and encouraging and stuff. But at the end of the day, I need to know what this man did. Okay, what did he do? We don't have a name. I can't go search for it in the Fulton County records of prison. Let me stop. Let me move on. Move on before I get myself into trouble. Fallyn's Halloween party, which was really, really nice. I was waiting for more though, because the outside of the house was very, very decorated. You know, you walk into the entrance and there were people there trying to touch you and scare, you know, the mess out you or whatever. But it seemed like once you got into the main house, there was really nothing else to do. So it was just funny when Portia said, I'm glad I got my costume from Party City and didn't really invest in money for this, because it seemed like you couldn't have spent all the money on the food, because everybody was hangry and hungry at the same time. And that's a bad combination, child, when you hangry and hungry, okay? Either one or the other, pick a struggle. But let's spend a moment on Kenya's costume. I like how they didn't go in on her right then, and they left all the shade for like the confessional looks and stuff like that, because they just wanted to, you know, keep everything cordial, keep everything moving together. But Kenya, I don't know how you as a person, okay, your assistants, handlers, and everybody around you let you Tootsie Roll out your house with that damn feather cap on, okay, pissing off the Native American community and just being, I don't know, socially tone deaf. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. I don't understand. And you know what would have fixed the whole situation? If you would have just took off the headdress. You could have been Pocahontas running through the damn fields or whatever, or running away from Mark or running to Mark. Listen, that's on you. But the headdress, no. The headdress and the explanation as to your costume, absolutely not. So hopefully they read you for filth later on, but this was not a good look for you. And hell, you can't even call the damn the Washington, the team formerly known as the Redskins, you can't even call them that no more because it's now just known as the Washington team, right? So you should have known that wasn't going to go over well. But listen, Kenya, sometimes you on it and sometimes you're off it, and this time you was just off of it. Let's get into LaToya. LaToya, you are dead ass wrong. Let me say this again. LaToya, you are dead ass wrong. And this goes back to my prior video where I'm just trying to understand, LaToya, the issues that you have are all of your own creation because you don't know where you fit in this group, right? And so you're doing all of these things to piss people off, right? Whether it's intentional or not. And all you're going to end up doing is alienating yourself, right? And so it's not even like you're trying to be like a baby Kenya where you're trying to, perpetuate mess or, strike up arguments where they're not. You're literally alienating yourself from everyone in this group who wants to be your friend. And you're going to end up on the outs, which means your ass is going to end up off the show, okay? And, you have to have a purpose when you get on this show and you have to decide how you're going to be. And I think that LaToya is just confused as to where she fits in this group, and it's really showing in terms of how she's operating and the shady stuff that she's doing. You were dead ass wrong, late coming into this lady's house, disrespecting her husband. First off, you got the damn age wrong, right? Because it's a younger woman, older man situation. You said the man was, 65 or whatever. I could deal with one time it being fun shade, but the constant, digs and stuff, like that was ridiculous. You're not going to come in my house, eat my food, drink my liquor, and disrespect my husband at the same time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So you were dead ass wrong for that one. And listen, Fallyn kept it classy for as long as she could. And I think that should be, praised for how long she kept it together. Even though I do have a comment later on about how, she went along with this. I swear I'm living down at the Home Depot. It's okay. We're going to push through. Push through. Push through. What's next? Kenya confronts LaToya. So Kenya takes LaToya aside because at the end of the day, LaToya decided to, how do I put this? LaToya decided to play on Kenya's intelligence and also try to flip the narrative, right? And it was unsuccessful because when you have Marlo telling Kenya that she's, down to this little niece's party spreading your business, and, when you have just the knowledge that LaToya is moving a little bit reckless in these streets as it comes to your name and the stuff that you've told her, you can't confront somebody and then they come to you with absolute nonsense, right? It was a lot of redirection on LaToya's part, and it sort of leads me to believe that she knew she was wrong, but she was trying to minimize it and blame it, accordingly. When LaToya was like, she was talking to Kenya and then, the voices got raised and Kenya was like, you will not yell at me. You don't need to yell at me. You can lower your tone. And then LaToya was like, you know what? I'm Trinidadian. That's how we talk or whatever. And if you can't accept this, then we can't be friends. Wrong. Okay, you tried to flip the narrative, tried to move it around, and it was unsuccessful. And that's just the theme of your interactions that entire night. I don't know if you were just, you seemed to be on 20 by the time you got there. So I don't know if you drank something, if you got struggles and strife in your life, but whatever you were going through, you were trying to make sure that everyone was as miserable as you that night. And by the end of it, you basically were the one who looked the worst in the situation. Everybody else looked fine. LaToya and her empty ultimatums because, listen, you didn't intend to not be friends with Kenya no matter what Kenya said in that situation. And I'm glad Kenya got up. You see, one thing you have to do in life is protect your energy, right? And when someone keeps trying to flip you into bad energy and you realize that the conversation is going nowhere, it is perfectly okay to get up, okay, and move out. Get up and move out, okay? Because if a conversation is just going round and round in circles and not having any point to the end of it, there's no point in continuing to discuss it. And that's what Kenya did. So good for her. Because LaToya is just really, she's not taking it seriously. LaToya then goes around the house and finds Portia, tries to ask Kenya whether or not she can walk her out. Kenya said, girl, I'm good on you. You can go. And so she asked Portia, can you walk me out or whatever? Portia goes to the front stoop with LaToya to try to talk it out. And this is where just, this narrative of LaToya trying to, I don't know, to make excuses for her bad behavior. The whole conversation of her going to Portia and saying how, I need to really understand what's the rift between you and Kenya because it's affecting my relationship with Kenya. Wrong. Your relationship with Kenya is affected because you can't keep your damn mouth shut and you don't know what team you're on, okay? So when Portia was sitting there looking confused, she had a right to be confused because one thing, though, Kenya might not like the fact that Portia and LaToya are close, but the mere fact that LaToya and Portia are friends is not the reason why Kenya and LaToya have problems, right? And so LaToya just trying to push this narrative of trying to, I don't know, put up this smoke screen and blame and move things around and perpetuate mess wrongly. It's not working, and you're looking crazy and everyone is noticing it. So you need to get whatever is going on with you together and move on from there because this is not a good look. And finally, LaToya brings Fallyn out of her character. Listen, I went up for Fallyn earlier saying how Fallyn was just great in terms of how she kept it classy, even with all the shade that was being thrown at her. But, everyone has their breaking point. And, in the words of one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my favorite media personalities, Funky Dineva, you can't do wrong to a person and then tell them how mad to get, right? And so because of that, I understand how mad Fallyn got when, this girl is in your driveway, in your house, at your table, disrespecting you, disrespecting your home where your children are upstairs, disrespecting, your relationship with your husband himself. Everyone has their breaking point. So I can understand how she got mad and how she wanted to, beat her up, lay hands on her. I understand it, right? But playing devil's advocate in this whole situation, your house is supposed to be a place of your peace, right? And to me, you should never let a bitch take you out of character in your own home, okay? Not your own home, right? And maybe it could have been helped if she, took the money that she didn't spend on the damn food and maybe hired security, and she could have cost you. And another thing, you can't tell me that with all the production that goes on with this show, that there wasn't security already there that Fallyn could have asked to get LaToya out, right? Because once you over here talking about it, I got 3 baby daddies and yelling at me from a car in my driveway and won't leave my house even though you said you was going to leave and I told you, you're dismissed or whatever. You can't tell me that she couldn't have gone to production and said, listen, y'all need to get her out of here before something happens, right? And we soon came to realize when she, ran past Portia like Flojo, went to the garage with them sickening ass vehicles. Okay, I'm just going to need a car tour, Fallyn. Once you calm down from the situation, you and your husband need to do a tour of all these beautiful luxury automobiles that you had. I saw like a 2-story rack. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. But there was a 2-story rack. It was very, very beautiful. I need to, once I get a house, that's house goals for me in order to have a very nice garage. But anyhow, once you ran past, Portia like Flojo, found the damn, what was it? It was a golf club. You done picked up your husband's golf club and you was gonna go, mess this girl up. Security magically appeared and this 6'9" big man, just popped out of nowhere to hold you back along with your husband. So you can't tell me that if you really wanted her out of the house that you couldn't have called security. But I understand when emotions are, rising and you basically had all that you can take, that you act in ways that maybe you necessarily wouldn't have if you were in your right mind, right? So listen, you can only push someone so far, but I think that maybe Fallyn needs to learn about, there's this really important tenet of the transference of energy, right? And I use this in my own life in terms of, arguments that I have with people or confrontations that I have. But what people really want out of an argument with you sometimes is they want your energy. They want a shift in your energy. They want their perspective and how mad they are to transfer over to you so that you can be as mad as they are, right? It's called the transference of energy, right? And so when you get an argument with me and I know that it's worth nothing and I have no time to give to you, I have no dust to pay you, I give you nothing. I give you dust, okay? You can call me Dirt Devil. Like, I don't have anything to give you, right? And in that situation, LaToya did the transference of energy very, very effectively, because at the end of the day, LaToya looked, relatively happy that she pissed Fallyn off, and Fallyn was pissed off having to be, pulled back by security and taken upstairs in her own home. So, as I said before, I understand how mad Fallyn got, but I wish that in her own house she would have kept it a little bit, more together. But like I said, I understand you can only push someone so far. Anywho, guys, if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at DatDamnDasher and also on Stereo at DatDamnDasher. And welcome back to the green forest. I got tired of the white screen. I'm gonna keep going back and forth. We'll see. But anywho, until the next review, I will talk to you later. Bye, and take care. Don't let people steal your energy and don't let people steal your joy. Love you for watching. Adios.